Heaven isn't built, it's claimed. Part 1 exposed the illusion of love. Part 2 revealed how obedience was trained, shaped, enforced. But none of that explains the endgame, because control is never the goal. Control is the method. The real objective is ownership of reality itself, and that's where the land comes in. Because belief, when it gets strong enough, doesn't stay invisible. It starts pouring concrete. It starts drawing borders. It starts calling itself Zion. Out in the dry stretch of West Texas, where the land doesn't ask questions and the wind keeps secrets, something rose out of the dust. Not slowly, not naturally, but violently precise. Lights through the night. Concrete poured like doctrine. Cranes swinging like metronomes, keeping time with belief. From the air, the YFZ ranch didn't look like a town. It looked like certainty forced into the earth. Zion wasn't just heaven. Zion was access. And access had a price. Be cleaner. Be quieter. Be more obedient. Almost there, not yet. Always almost. Like oil beneath the ground, always promised, never fully reached. Because the moment it's reached, the drilling stops. And this machine was never designed to stop. At the center of it all stood Warren Jeffs, not as a guide, but as a filter. Not pointing to God, but standing in front of him. Every whisper from heaven rooted through one voice. Every decision, every marriage, every child, every thought passed through a single human throat. That's not religion. That's a bottleneck. And whoever controls the bottleneck controls the flow. 3,500 people breathing the same air until suddenly it left the room. Names called. 20 men, pillars of the community, reduced to accusations. Master deceivers. No list shown. No defense allowed. Just a claim backed by belief. And belief backed by fear. Families cracked open like dry earth. Fathers erased mid-sentence. Children reassigned like livestock. Not chaos, precision. Like a rancher separating cattle, knowing exactly which ones to pull from the herd. Cameras bloomed like thorns. On poles, in halls, watching, recording, remembering everything. The old God saw the heart. This new system watched behavior, tracked footsteps, logged conversations, measured obedience in movement. And when eyes are everywhere, conscience goes silent, because fear does the speaking now. $300,000 a week, not from abundance, but from strain. From people counting dollars for gas, handing over thousands for heaven. Like oil pulled from the ground, pressure building until it bursts upward into someone else's pipeline. That wasn't giving, that was drilling. And the deeper the belief, the richer the well. They even softened the language. Poofers, as if vanishing were magic, not loss. Children gone by morning. Mothers handed silence instead of answers. Never mind you. 3 words, heavier than grief. Because grief can be expressed. This had to be swallowed. Whole. Love showed up simple and left complicated. A woman knew who she loved until authority intervened. I will preside over you, even beyond marriage, even beyond choice. Love became something to be approved, redirected, overridden, like land rezoned without consent. What once belonged no longer did. Sons of perdition. Say it once, and a man disappears. Not physically, but completely. His name burned, his memory forbidden, his children taught to forget his face. Identity revoked. Because if a man can be unmade with words, then reality itself is negotiable. They grew food, built homes, ran dairies, worked the land from sunrise to exhaustion. A complete system, except for one thing: ownership of the mind. Because independence in labor means nothing if dependence in belief remains untouched. Nothing out there was the real structure. Not the temple, not the ranch, not the fences or the cameras. The real structure was invisible. A single idea: that truth could be handed down instead of recognized. That God could be represented instead of realized. That heaven could be earned instead of already being. Once that belief is accepted, everything else builds itself. And when it breaks, it doesn't collapse like a building. It dissolves like a story no longer believed. Because the power was never in the land, never in the money, never even in the man. It was in the agreement. If heaven requires permission, who built the gate? And why was it ever believed to be real? Submitted for consideration. A place where heaven was mapped, measured, and managed. Where belief was poured into concrete, and obedience walked the land like law. Where a man stood not beside God, but in front of him, and no one thought to ask how that happened. Families divided with a sentence, children reassigned with a word, and truth reduced to whatever could not be questioned. A community that had everything it needed to survive, except the freedom to see. Because the most enduring structures are not built with steel or stone. They are built with agreement. And once accepted, they no longer need to be enforced, only believed. Until one quiet moment when the question finally rises, not shouted, not declared, but simply seen. If heaven must be granted, then who designed the gate? And who agreed to stand in line?